Well, look at this. New York Times op-ed and a stunning headline here. A doctor who's an Israeli professor of Holocaust and genocide studies at Brown University says right here, I'm a genocide scholar. I know when he sees it. And it's referring to the war in Gaza. Pleased to bring in now our panel to weigh in on these controversial topics here in this op-ed. We are pleased to have Middle East analyst Thane Rosenbaum, who's also a distinguished university professor at Touro University, with us. He's the author of the book, Beyond Proportionality, Israel's Just War in Gaza. It is a must-read. Also joining us today, Dov Hikind, former New York State Assemblyman, founder of Americans Against Anti-Semitism. Gentlemen, a pleasure to have you. For our viewers who, maybe didn't see this op-ed, and I'm sure you both, have seen it and read it, this Dr. Bartov is talking about genocide, Israel's war, saying that Israel wants to make the Gaza Strip uninhabitable for Palestinians and force them to leave altogether, deprive them of basic necessities, for it's impossible for them to exist. When you read this type of POV thing, I mean, what goes through your mind, knowing here we have another Ivy League professor who says, I'm a genocide expert, and this is what I see?
Yeah, but Bianca, you have a real genocide expert on your panel tonight, me. I'm here. I just wrote a book on this, Beyond Proportionality, Israel's Just War in Gaza. Now, imagine this for a moment. Imagine if someone looked at the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and didn't mention Pearl Harbor and never used the word war. It's not about a war, and just looked at the aftermath of the dropping of atomic bombs and said the United States was committing genocide. People would laugh at that. They'd say, that's ridiculous. This is done in the context of war, and a war that was started in Pearl Harbor. He doesn't mention this, the entire essay. He never uses the word war, and he never talks about the idea that this started by October 7th. He only wants to talk about collateral damage, but he doesn't use the word collateral damage, because you know why? Collateral damage is the words that you use in the context of a war, not in a genocide. The people are dead at their collateral to the main objective. The main objective is to fight a war. He's not making a distinction between Hamas and Palestinians. He's counting everyone the same, as if Israel is actually targeting Palestinians when in fact they're targeting terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he says in this piece, the IDF is not fighting Hamas. He says the IDF is engaging in demolition and ethnic cleansing. I mean, that statement alone, Dov, wow. Pick up on some of the things that Thane was just saying. And the New York Times obviously giving this air.
Yeah, look, first of all, as Thane was pointing out, America committed genocide in World War II with the Allies attacking German cities. That's what this professor would actually, I think he would agree with me. It's ridiculous. Some of the things he says, he objects to calling Hamas Nazis. Can you imagine that? He objects. He loses sleep at night because we're calling Hamas Nazis. Hamas has made it very, very clear, and there is no doubt, that they would murder every Jew in Israel if they could. Hamas is a Nazi organization, and it is just pathetic. This professor, he's just full of himself. Look, he uses all the right people to make his point. Amnesty International, one of the most vicious anti-Israel, anti-Semitic organization. Francesca Albanese, who can't come into this country because of her vicious anti-Semitic, anti-Israel rhetoric for years. Look, I'm not shocked by any of this. This guy is a radical leftist. By the way, he represents what's happening at universities in America, the radicalization of American professors.
Yep. It's so true. And this administration is not going to have that. And if it means pulling funding, it will happen. I have about 30 seconds. I just want to get your thoughts, Thane, where he says Holocaust scholars not calling out Israel. He says their silence is making a mockery of the slogan, never again. Do you think he actually believes everything he's writing in this essay and op-ed?
Well, you know what he forgets to mention, Bianca? The reason Holocaust scholars won't agree with him, because they know that if they do, every time you're in war, it's a genocide. and they know that's preposterous. Countries go to war. Of course, Holocaust scholars like me wouldn't agree with him, because as Dove said, the bombing of Dresden in Germany would have been genocide. The bombing of cities Mosul in Iraq to kill ISIS is genocide. According to him, anytime you have a lot of dead people, it's genocide. COVID is genocide. That's what a clown and a joke this guy is.
Well, we really appreciate your thoughtful comments. Thane Rosenbaum, Dov Hikind. Certainly, hopefully people are now seeing that exactly for what it is. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Thank you, as always.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you. We want to take you now to Israel, where forces have been carrying out strikes against targets in Syria. It is a fast-moving story. Our correspondent Chuck Holton is live in Tel Aviv with the latest for us there this evening. Chuck.